My dear colleagues, dear friends and members of Juris Diversitas, good morning, good afternoon, good day, good night, welcome and bienvenue. I am Olivier Moreto, President of Juris Diversitas. I'm using a script because I speak from Baton Rouge, Louisiana in the United States, and it is 2:30 in the morning here. I fear that I might have difficulty articulating my thoughts in the middle of the night. Due to COVID, we are running this conference remotely, and you participants are not in one place, but dispersed on at least 12 time zones on all continents. The organization of this conference was something of a challenge. We were supposed to meet 1 year ago in Catania, beautiful Sicily. We went a long way preparing the event with our dear friend Biagio Ando, who is with us today. Thank you, Biagio. Our beautiful time in Catania will come in due course. We do not give up that easily. The COVID outbreak caused us to postpone to September 2020 and then to June 2021. We resolved last winter that it was a bad idea to postpone again, and we did not want to cancel. We decided to go online with all the risks and inconvenience, also losing the opportunity of meeting in person, bonding, and having a good time. We are alone at home or in our office and together in the cyberspace, which is everywhere and nowhere. We are at the same time alone and together, just like when surfing social networks. Some of us are doing this. We experience an oxymoron, alone together. Alone together, why we expect more from technology and less from each other is the title of a book written 8 years ago by Sherry Turkle to discuss the mental implications of what seems to become the new normal. Alone Together is also a series and a movie. Who knows, it may one day become the topic of a Juris Diversitas conference. I will not discuss the logistical challenges of putting the present conference together. When you visit a home or public building, do you really care about seeing the plumbing and the wiring? Many of us have become zombies over the past semesters. We want you to stay a bit. Forget the Zoom part rather than Zoom by. Please stay on, listen, and debate rather than zapping from one session to another. Engaging with colleagues and making new friends is what makes a conference attractive. Though the format is challenging in this respect, we trust you will make the event a stimulating learning experience, a forum of new ideas. And at this point, I'm going to try to share my screen and a few words about our topic. It came to us via music and the visual arts. We owe it to the Italian members of our group. So much comes from Italy, but not the music and the visual art in this instance. Some of us grew up at the time of the Pink Floyds and were fascinated by the music and the beauty of the album cover of the Dark Side of the Moon. It was released in 1973, the year when I started my legal studies in Lyon, France. I was 17 back then. We know that the dark side of the moon is not any darker than the bright side that illuminates our nights. The French call it la face cachée de la lune, dark, hidden, chiaroscuro, another oxymoron, as we like them at Juris Diversitas. Read Law in the Time of Oxymora, a synesthesia of language, logic, and law, a volume published in the Juris Diversitas book series, authored by our friend Rostam Nerviat, who participates from Macau. Good evening, Rostam. Here is how we define the topic in the call for paper. Is law inherently good, reasonable, just? Has it always been associated with positive values in all cultures, at all times? Has it always that distinctive flavor of soundness, seriousness, that we commonly associate with all things legal? Juris Diversitas invites you to a journey across the entire spectrum of uncommon legal epiphanies, seeking instances where the law has been or was believed to be evil, odd, bizarre, fantastic, or absurd, ridiculous, esoteric, psychoactive, or psychotrope, exploring the dark side of the law in time and space to observe its many hidden facets. Here is how it sounds in French, the other language of our conference. Le droit est-il intrinsèquement bon, raisonnable et juste? A-t-il de tout temps et dans toutes les cultures été associé à des idées positives? Se caractérise-t-il toujours par cette saveur saine et sérieuse que l'on associe communément à tout ce qui est juridique? Juris Diversitas propose un voyage à travers le spectre des épiphanies juridiques qui sortent du commun, à la recherche de situations où le droit s'est manifesté ou a été ressenti comme mauvais, étrange, bizarre, fantastique ou absurde, ridicule, ésotérique, psychoactif ou psychotrope. Une exploration du côté sombre du droit dans le temps et dans l'espace pour observer ses multiples facettes cachées. Thank you for the many of you who responded our call for papers and panels, well over 100 on a period of 1 year. We sense that this can be a festival of diverse and multiple interdisciplinary approaches with colorful presentation. We wish we had more non-lawyers speaking and attending, and are very grateful to colleagues of other disciplines who join and support our efforts. Spread the words. Comparativists welcome you with open arms. Once again, from a man speaking from the presently dark side of our planet, welcome to the dark side of the law. Let us dim the lights, turn the spotlights around, look through mirrors, magnifiers, or other visual tools. Let us open our eyes and discover new and surprising perspectives. Let us discover the obviousness of the unseen. Let us verify with Rothko, Pierre Soulages, and others that dark is not black and black not that dark. Before leaving the floor to Salvatore Mancuso, Vice President for Events, I want to thank him and other members of the Juris Diversitas Executive Committee for helping organizing this conference. I may then present a few housekeeping rules before I go back to bed. Thank you for being there. Merci d'être venu. Bon voyage. Safe intellectual travels. Welcome to the not so dark side of our screen. I will conclude with Malcolm de Chazal, Sens plastique. Sans l'ombre, la lumière ne pourrait chevaucher les objets, et le soleil partout irait à pied. I translate freely. Without shade, The light could not ride objects, and everywhere the sun would go on foot. With light and shade, we cannot be pedestrian. Que la fête commence. Let the festivities begin. Thank you. And I turn it to my dear friend, Salvatore Mancuso, who I'm sure has a few words, and he can even be longer than me, because I don't think I took too much time. Salvatore.
Thanks, Olivier. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everybody. I won't be longer than Olivier because I have not prepared any speech or any specific discourse. I thought, and Olivier basically said everything. What I wanted to do is to make a few thanks, remerciements that I think are important before we start our conference. First of all, my vote of thanks goes to Olivier, because despite I am the vice president for events, he has at the very end has worked mostly for all the technical aspects of this conference, and without his intervention, I would not have been able, frankly speaking, to prepare all this, especially considering that in most Italian university we are completely not using Zoom, because there was an agreement in Italy to use Microsoft Teams, so very seldom we use Zoom. And this is something that has affected obviously our possibilities in terms of operational activity. Let me express a second vote of thanks to Biagio Andò. As Olivier mentioned, this conference should have been held in Catania, and Biagio has done a tremendous job for preparing the conference last year and also this year, because we supposed to be able to have the conference in Catania in presence, and Biagio has done, believe me, a lot of work to arrange the necessary finance to have the conference in Catania and to maintain this finance for the 2021. And unfortunately, we have not been able to be in Catania. But I think that again, he has been more than being a friend. He has been a very precious colleague in supporting me in the organization of something that at the very end is a baby that was not born. And a third vote of thanks goes to the friends and colleagues who have accepted. I would use another musical reference, Against All Odds. Phil Collins, Against All Odds have accepted to chair sessions, panels, to organize e-panels and e-sessions, I would say, helping in this respect and making my job of putting everything together easier. And last but not least, to you all participants that have been really faithful, I would say, to Juris Diversitas in keeping your interest in our conference for basically 2 years, and continuing, updating your abstracts, your presentations, and waiting for us. We really appreciate your commitment and your presence here at this conference. I also am delighted to see a very wide number of participants, not only in terms of geographical distribution, but also in terms of different experience. We have senior colleagues and we have younger colleagues. We have very well-known law professors. We have PhD students. And I mean, this is, in my view, something that is extremely important and gives a great satisfaction to us, members of the exec of Juris Diversitas, because our job, our idea is to also to create a platform where all kind of scholars from every part of the world with any background can meet together and exchange views. And the fact that we have this different range of colleagues makes us very proud of what we are doing. And I hope, and I'm sure actually, that we will have a great conference. And I mean, the fact that we have such a big program for an online conference. I have participated in several online conferences, and this is, believe me, the first time I see an online program so wide, with so many sessions running at the same time. And I mean, it has been a real challenge to us, but I hope you will enjoy. And I hope, and I'm sure it will be a great conference. And this said, I would like to end up by giving you a sort of appointment, most likely for next year, because this is the 2020 conference actually. And as you know, we hold a plenary conference once every 2 years. In principle, we are supposed to have our next plenary, big conference, plenary conference next year. We don't know where, if and where. I hope that this will happen. But I want to see you all. We want to see you all next year somewhere, maybe in an airport, considering we are.
No.
Somewhere. I mean, candidacies are open. So if someone wants to organize the next Juris Diversitas conference in his university, in his or her university, in his or her place, please let us know. We are very, very happy to receive nominations, candidacies to host the next Juris Diversitas conference. This said, considering that we run under Swiss time and we have to be on time, and we have 7 more minutes. I'll give back the floor to our president for the last, I think, introductory remarks and guidelines, and enjoy the conference. And see you at the next plenary meeting that I think is tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Salvatore. And my final point won't be that exciting. There will be a little bit of tourism, because I hear that our Italian friends are maybe less familiar with Zoom than many of us are. My apologies for those who use it every day, but I will give you the tour. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you see a variety of buttons. They may not be on the same place for everyone, but just look for what I'm describing. You see typically at the bottom left, the mute, something like a microphone, which is what you activate when you want to unmute and speak. Don't forget to unmute when you ask a question or where you need to talk, and to mute yourself when we are a crowd. It's better to be silent to avoid background noise. You can start or activate the video. It is always, we decided to take the traditional Zoom meeting against Zoom webinar, though we have a license for both, because with the Zoom meeting, we can see one another and it's more friendly than a webinar where you only see the panelists. You don't worry about security. If you click on security, something is going to happen. I don't know if it is the police or the fire brigade coming first. I'm kidding, I'm joking. You have participants, and you can see the number of us, 43 at the moment on my screen. The chat that you can use to ask questions, make comments, etc. I invite, by the way, the chairs of session. It's always amusing. I do this to copy and paste the chat into a Word document, because sometimes there are a few gems out there, and I will do this at the end of this meeting. You have the share screen button in green with an arrow, which is very important when you speak and want to share a video. It brings you back to your screen, to your computer screen. And it's best not to have too many programs open, because then it's difficult to select which one you want to open. And it may be the photo where you appear in swimming suit or anything that you don't necessarily want to share with everyone. So just have a tidy screen the moment you will speak on the conference. Reactions is organized differently depending on the version of Zoom that you have. You have this sort, let's use that one. I don't use it very often, but that's what I feel at the moment. When I do it from the office, I can raise my hand. Here, I don't see the raise hand thing, but when you want to speak, maybe you want to, I don't know, do this or make yourself see it or agitate your hand or use the chat, hoping that the host will see you. And you know, if you don't get heard, unmute and start talking. We are disciplined people. We will do that in organized ways. So you will, if you're not familiar with Zoom, get familiar with this. And I hope it's not been a hassle to log on to these events. If asked for a passcode, JD 2021 is the universal. I have put that passcode everywhere I could. And if there is any question, you can contact us, email me during the day, and of course, always ask the chair, etc. But I hope we will have lively conversations after the presentations. We calculated the time to make this possible. And we still have 3 minutes of our time. And if anyone wants to speak, ask a question, or the floor is yours. I see hands waving, and it's not a very long time to the next session. We have asked chairs of sessions and people who speak on a session to be there ahead of time for final instructions and monitoring, and I won't exceed the time allocated. I'm due to speak later this morning, but I will have a second half of my night before this happens. I hope I will wake up. Salvatore, give me the wake-up call.
Problem. At what
So,
time do you want to be waking up?
No. I was joking.
No, if you want coffee, croissant.
Yes, coffee and croissant. Okay, coffee must be done on the Bialetti. Eh?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, the real thing. Okay, so thank you, everyone, and we will see each other on various sessions. And as I said, que la fête commence. See you soon.
Yes. And we have, according to our program, we have 15 minutes break. This break is necessary to give you the possibility to virtually distribute yourselves into the different sessions. So we ask the chairs to, let's say, prepare and open the next sessions and panels, because we have, according to the program, we have 2 sessions, 2 parallel sessions and 1 panel. The parallel session 1 about Asian legal systems, and the second one regarding legal philosophy, and the panel about post-Soviet law, coordinated by Christian Collina and Cristina Poncibo. So I asked the chairs to, let's say, prepare the virtual rooms so that panelists and participants can access the different sessions according to their preference. And this said, I think we can leave Olivier free to go to sleep a bit. And if you have any kind of need, you can send us an email to us, European members of the exec. We are here to help chairs and participants, so feel free to contact us for any need. Thanks a lot, and see you in the different panels and sessions. Bye-bye.
Can I ask a quick question, Olivia?
Yes, I'm still there.
Yes, I will be taking screenshots every now and then for our record. So if anybody has a problem with that, could they just add it to the chat box and I will take it off. Excellent.
That's a great idea, to take screenshots and have a few memories of the mosaics, our diversity. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.